What's going on to all of my Pisces out there? So let's get into this. Um, Hope y'all are having a great day, by the way. So let's get into this. So for you Pisces, you have the Knight of Swords, Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, Six of Swords, the Nine of Wands, Hierophant, Seven of Cups, Three of Pentacles, Temperance, and last but not least, the Page of Swords. So what I'm seeing here for a lot of you Pisces, right? I'm seeing how you Pisces happen to be in a situation right now where um the Knight of Swords, right? The Knight of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords. Some of you Pisces may have to be very clear on just kind of paying attention to being upset that certain things have not necessarily worked out for you, right? So the reason why it is I'm saying that is because the Queen of Swords. So it's like somebody potentially coming in to say what's up to you, or the idea of someone coming in to say what's up to you, try to get to know you. The Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords, which is some of you Pisces may be like, you don't necessarily want to meet anybody right now. You think the dating pool is trash. That may not necessarily be true though. I mean, yes, the dating pool is trash. Yes, obviously it's trash. I'm always going to maintain that. For the most part, you're absolutely right. It is trash. But if you Pisces know that one of the things that you want to do is date, you don't have to really put yourself in a situation where you really have to force between the two of you want to date and you want to have somebody by your side in a relationship, but at the same time, you don't want to go through the stuff that most people go through, which is the playing around and the delusion. You don't necessarily have to go through all of that. Some of you Pisces may be asking yourselves, well, what do you mean by this? Well, you all it is that you really need to do is ask people what it is that they really want. And more than likely, they will tell you. 9 times out of 10, if you ask somebody, right? If you ask somebody, hey, what's going on with you? Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself 20 years from now? Right? A lot of times, because it takes a long time to build a relationship, right? It takes at least 10 years to really build a relationship. A lot of times people will be like, well, what do you mean 10 years? Especially now, because you're really supposed to be scoping out your significant other. The Six of Swords represents just that, right? Like you're really supposed to really be peeping out your significant other for here, Six of Swords, to make sure that you're even in a relationship that is very much so reciprocal, because that's another thing too as well. A lot of times too, sometimes people, a lot of times too, if you've ever noticed that when someone likes you, how it is that they'll change their whole personality or what they like, that's not really a good thing. That's not really a beneficial thing. And the reason why it is I'm saying that it's not a beneficial thing is due to the fact that if you really pay attention to it, you really got to be on your P's and Q's. You really have to be on your P's and Q's. Considering the fact that if it's not really a good thing to have somebody, change up their whole personality just so that they could try to be in a relationship with you. And I'm just using that as an example, right? Because you ultimately end up not really knowing who the actual person was really on the inside. And that's where the situation was. So the Six of Swords, and then you have the Nine of Wands. The Six of Swords and the Nine of Wands is now that a lot of you Pisces are really creating your own boundaries and putting your foot down as to what it is that you want and what you don't want. And I have a Pisces ascendant myself, so I can speak from this situation myself. Now that a lot of you Pisces are putting your foot down, now the universe has to play ball. The universe has to essentially play ball with the things that you say that you want. And what I mean by that is, obviously, the people that come your way that are not built the way that you want it to, based upon your decision making, obviously the best thing for you Pisces to do is to essentially excommunicate them, right? Stop rocking with them in the first place, because a lot of you Pisces know this is not what it is that you want. For me, I have a Pisces ascendant, so for me, some of the people that I wanted to get to know are some people who really do want to really get to know me, really do want to hang around me. Like, one of the things that I got tired of, me personally, I got sick and tired of being in a situation where the people that I wanted to get to know, I got their numbers, they would flake, and then they would later come back after doing all those antics and all of that. And then now it's like they're in a position where now they're stalking. Now they pop up in certain places where I am. Now they're in those different locations. Now when I go somewhere, excuse me, they go somewhere. The same place. They popping up in the same restaurants. They doing this, they doing that. And it's like, what is going on here? Like, you had me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had me. I could have actually hung out with you, but you wanted to act like you were so fly, this, that, and the third. And now you got the dysfunctional effect, because instead of actually having me, which is what it is that you wanted to be delusional and act like you were so powerful. And then now you're in a situation where you stalking because, which is even more delusional, but you stalking because you know for a fact that I'm done with you and I don't want to hang out with you on that level because you did too much. And it's the same situation for you. Now the universe, because now the type of people that I'm getting are the type of people that do want to talk, that do want to hang out. Like, if don't do me any kind of favors, for real though. If no one wants to hang out, if people don't want to talk, if people don't want to engage, you really don't have to. And at this point, it really goes to show you how really delusional it would really be, because it's like, how old are you going to get before you stop doing this stuff? 30, 40, 50, 60? You still doing the same stuff as if you know what I'm saying, as if you were younger? Come on. And it's the same situation for you Pisces, right? The Queen of Swords is that the good thing for you Pisces to do is for you Pisces is to put your foot down and say what it is that you want, for some of you Pisces that hasn't figured it out. Because when I read, obviously, I know that not every single Pisces or whatever zodiac sign is going to get hip to that message, because they're not necessarily going through the same thing. So I'm really reading for the zodiac sign, yes, but I'm really reading for who's ever going through what situation at the time is what I'm talking about. So for you Pisces that are going through this, the first thing that you have to do is pretty much say your intentions. You want to get to know people who act like this. And if they don't act like, and if they don't move this particular kind of way, then you're not going to hang out with them. And anybody that tries to approach you from the particular way that you just said that you don't want, you got to cut them off. Then you will begin to actually start to get the type of people that you say that you want. So the Hierophant and the Seven of Cups now represents how. So that's the next level of progression. That's the next thing that a lot of you Pisces gotta start doing. A lot of you Pisces gotta actually start listening to your own self and realizing that if you're trying to get to know somebody and you know that it's some BS, it's some nonsense, then it's time for you to actually, cut them loose. It's time for you to start excommunicating with these people, because you know that nothing that you really ultimately want is coming out of that short and long term. It's not. And the reason why it is I'm saying that in the first place is because The Hierophant and the Seven of Cups. What would be the point of interacting with somebody that you know good and well is not really going to be in a good position to give you what it is that you want? You Pisces already know what time it is. What do I mean by that? This person is not in a position in their own life to really give you what you want because they're not there themselves. It's a conclusion that they have to, it's a conclusion that people would have to, because see, the thing is that a lot of times when it comes to the dating pool, what it is that a lot of people have not come to the foregone conclusion. They need experience and they need heartbreak and they need a lot of experience and time for them to figure out. Some people never really graduate. Some people never really figure it out, you know? And what it is that they're supposed to be learning is that you can't achieve a real relationship from a perspective of trying to con the person. You can't really ultimately achieve a well working relationship from the perspective that if you try to play all these delusional antics, that somehow those delusional antics are really going to work. That's the perspective. And that's the thing that a lot of people, you could tell, obviously has a problem with. The idea that you can tell that they really have an issue with that, with understanding of that fact. And that the more antics they try to play and run is the more delusional they ultimately end up becoming. Because you can't, because the truth is that once you get yourself in that type of situation, then you're messed up considering the fact that the type of conclusion, and I'm not trying to make up people's minds for them, but the type of conclusion that you should be getting to, and you want to know how it is that you've made some serious progress, is that you have to learn to let go of your huge ego. And I'm not saying that specifically Pisces has huge egos. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that everybody has huge egos. And that if they're going to really be in the dating pool, and if their dating is going to be successful, and if they're going to start to become more fulfilled, that's everybody in general, that has to be a situation where they have to learn to get over their own ego. Because I was in a position myself, Pisces, and this is all relevant. I was in a position myself, Pisces, where I went through all of these different phases, right? Tried to be the gangster, the hardened individual, tried to be the hotep, you know what I mean? The hotep type, queen and all this other type of stuff. I tried all of that stuff, you know what I mean? I tried to learn pickup. I tried to learn all of that stuff back when, pickup courses was like starting at like $25. I tried to learn all of that stuff, right? All right. Ask people what it is that they thought. And the thing that I found out through all that experimentation is none of that stuff ultimately worked because it was about ultimately being myself. And I realized that I didn't know who I really was. And that's the same situation for you Pisces. You Pisces are trying too hard. One thing that you realize when it comes to, and this is the reason why it is that the Queen of Swords popped up. The Queen of Swords popped up because the Queen of Swords is a representation of how you Pisces have to learn to say no to the things and the people and the situations that you really don't actually like or really want to get to know further. Any type of situation that you deem is really not very good for you, really does not really ultimately help the situation, don't be afraid to say no. And the situation with that is that's the real you peering through. The things that you say no to is the real you peering through. And the thing is that the Three of Pentacles, the Temperance, and the Page of Swords, right, represents how so since this is the case, The Three of Pentacles is that, but as of right now, you're still in a situation where a lot of you Pisces may still be trying to find yourself. You still may be trying to find your own groove, your own lane. What do you like? Like for me, I realize that I'm not necessarily a cat person. I don't necessarily dislike cats, but at the same time, I end up liking dogs a lot more because as far as pets is concerned, me and a dog is more compatible than me having a cat. Because a cat, they're more moody, they scratch you more, things of this nature. So, but I'm sharing that to kind of show y'all these are some of the realizations that I had about myself. You understand what I'm saying? And the things that the Temperance and the Page of Swords is, these are the types of realizations that you must have about yourself, Pisces. And I'm a Pisces ascendant saying this because once you start to understand who you are, you'll start to understand your relationship style. Like for instance, right? And before we start to do the clarifications, for instance, for me, when I speak to somebody, I like to speak to the person when they're by themselves. I don't necessarily like to speak to a person when they're in a crowd full of people, they have their friends around or any of that type of stuff. That usually doesn't necessarily go it's not usually successful for me. So in order for me to become more successful when it comes to getting to know them, more than likely it'll have to be by themselves, because I don't necessarily have a whole entourage for me to really walk up to them, create distractions, this, that, and the third, and speak to the particular person. So let's clarify the temperance. Let's clarify the temperance. You have the Seven of Cups, Seven of Swords, Emperor, and then you have the Seven of Pentacles, right? So to clarify the temperance, this is about how, now I will say this, the Seven of Cups represents all of these different things for you, all of these different identities that a lot of you Pisces has taken up and decided that you wanted to try out. And all of these different identities or different phases of identities that you wanted to try out popping up for you. The Seven of Swords represents here how once it is that you find one that works for you based upon whatever discovery you make about yourself, a lot of people are going to be upset because you just made the dating pool harder. What I mean by that? Well, they're not going to be able to come in and tell you some stuff and it actually worked. They're going to have to actually put in some effort. The emperor and the Seven of Pentacles represents, and this is where it is that you're going to start to see a lot of people's entitled mentality, because they're going to try to make it they're going to try to make things more difficult for you due to the fact that they're going to tell you, I can't believe you acting like this with me and all this other type of stuff. But this is how it is that a lot of you Pisces will know, yeah, this person just wanted to come in and thought they were going to get free this or me to buy them stuff or free this or free that because they thought that I was going to be easy. Things was going to go their way, but it's not working out like that. And look at how it is that they're tripping out. So I say good on you Pisces, because a lot of you Pisces is actually putting pressure on the dating pool in your own way. And the thing is that the more character we have, the more we develop our character, the better we become, the more upstanding we become, is the more we actually put pressure on the dating pool with all of the delusional people, because really won't have too much. People will really be stuck in between a rock and a hard place where it's you really gonna shape up or ship out, because people in the dating pool is going to be too on point. So they're not going to be able to come in talking that stuff. But that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video. I'm trying to make my YouTube channel grow to 10,000 subscribers by the end of June 2023. As of right now, I have 3,000 687 subscribers, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit the notification bell, and set the notification bell to all so you can be you can be notified whenever I drop my videos. Peace.